We're rolling?
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? God damn it.
What's up, guys?
There we go.
There we go.
All right, go for it.
Go for it.
No,
No, you got to start, bro.
first.
Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lightweights. Today, we have Graham Stephan, right?
Yes.
That's how you
Graham
say it, right?
Stevens, Graham Stephan, Graham Stephan.
Graham Stephan. Okay. We have Graham Stephan today. Joe, you want to introduce
Real
what
estate
Graham
mogul,
does?
crypto. I see you always posting all this crypto stuff too now. Are you actually into it?
Yeah, I am. I wouldn't call myself like a big crypto guy, but my goal this year is to get 5% of my entire portfolio in crypto.
Wow.
Yeah. So listen, I'm not like a crypto expert by any means.
And how much is 5%?
I'm
just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Well, we start off right away. So how much money do you make? Like per day. Like per day, per hour.
Get into it. Yeah. Are you curious?
No, don't.
Yeah.
I met Graham back in December through our friend Jonah, who, did you reach out to him or he reached out to you?
He reached out to me.
That's what I found interesting.
Right.
So our friend
That is
Jonah
funny.
reached out to you. We did a YouTube video. You gave us a challenge to see how much money we can make in 24 hours with only $20.
Right.
And about a month ago, I went back to New Jersey. I saw my uncle, and I told him I wanted to do real estate investing. And I asked who he watches on YouTube because he said that's where he gets all of his information. He doesn't watch TV. That's like his source. And you were the first name he said.
Gosh.
And I was like,
That's a lot of pressure.
I was like, I know him. That's crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I hit you up, and here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Going back to
all
Jonah,
right.
he is a businessman.
Jonah is a businessman.
So, I mean, it makes sense for him to reach out to Graham.
Who won that challenge? It was Jeff,
It was
right?
me and Jeff.
You and Jeff. Okay,
we
got
partnered
it.
up on a drug dealing business.
Got
which
it.
you signed off on.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I did. I mean, the rules of the game were technically there were no rules, so anything goes.
And that's your philosophy in business. There are no rules. And we're going to see how Graham takes advantage of people to get to the top.
Wait, hold on a second. What did you sell? What kind of drugs?
Jonah doesn't tell us what the videos are. So when we all show up, he hits us with the video idea there. And the challenge was, I'm going to give you everybody $20, and whoever can make the most money in 24 hours by investing it in some way or another wins. And Jeff sold drugs. Todd played music in front of a supermarket. I don't think Jason did anything.
I think Jason just left.
I think Jason pocketed the money. But yeah, it was a really fun video. It's on Jonah's channel.
To kick things off, and as a preface, Joe recently purchased his first investment property in Phoenix, Arizona, in Scottsdale.
nice.
Yeah. I watched your videos too. They helped a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that area, by the way. A lot of people are moving there.
Well, don't tell everybody. It's gonna be
Well,
hard.
you gotta buy before this goes live. You could beat everyone to the punch.
Dude, buying a place is a trip. I'm 28. I'm 24 now, and I just bought that first place, and
You're 24?
Yep. There's just so much that goes into buying a place, and
It's a lot.
I respect you so much for figuring it out on your own. And I listened to you on the Bigger Pockets podcast too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was
You listen to Bigger Pockets?
that's the real estate podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's what I used to listen to. Yeah.
yeah. And Graham did it like a year ago.
No, I did. I think 3 years ago I did. I've done twice. I think with Bigger Pockets.
Yeah, and your episode was great, but you just spew out so much information. That's what was so cool about real estate investing is that you can kind of do it on your own if you just figure out where to look.
Yeah. There's a formula to it. And really, once you get that formula down, it's just a copy and paste. As long as the property meets your criteria, you can just copy and paste the same thing really across the world.
Can I ask you how many properties you have in total
8?
across the United States?
No. 7 in Los Angeles, 1 in Las Vegas.
Wow, you did all LA.
Yeah.
Your first place was San Bernardino.
San Bernardino.
It was a nightmare.
First 3 were San Bernardino. The next 4 were Los Angeles. And then the 8th one was Las Vegas.
And are they all...
Single family?
We just
No.
start throwing out words. Duplexes.
Well, hold on
Yeah,
a second. I
duplex
was
house.
going to say, I'm a broker in Illinois, so not to toot my own horn,
Wow.
but I know a little bit about real estate. Just a little bit, though.
Square footage.
I know square
Lot
footage.
size.
refrigerators.
Yes.
I know how many square feet is in
Bedrooms.
1 acre. Yes, exactly.
Bathrooms. How many square feet is in an acre?
43,560.
All right, close enough. I was
What
about
is
to
it?
say like 44, but I think it's like 43 something.
Yeah,
I round up.
yeah. 44 roughly.
Yeah.
Do you do them on short-term rentals or...
No, pretty much all of the properties have been rented for many years. Like one tenant I've had since 2012, I think.
Wow.
Same tenant, never once raised their rent.
Good for
Never
you.
once. Good and bad. The reason I haven't raised the rent was because they're not under rent control. So I'm not bound to raise the rent. Otherwise, you lose it. Like the issue I think with Los Angeles is I have to raise the rent every single year. Otherwise, if I don't do that, you're putting yourself a year behind because it's not like you could all of a sudden one year raise it 9% because you decided the last 3 years you don't want to do that. So when tenants are stuck in their leases and they don't want to move, you have to raise the rent. San Bernardino does not have rent control. And because of that, because I like the tenants, I'm just not going to raise the rent. Los Angeles, though, I give tenants a heads up. Hey, I got to raise your rent. We could try to work something out. I want you to stay, but I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm going to raise the rent the maximum I can. Because if in the event you stay here for 15 years, like I can't have that be at my expense.
Do you manage all the properties yourself, or you have a
Except
team?
for one.
Or is that all under the same property management?
No. So one property, I have a property manager on it. The other seven, because two of them I live in. The other properties I just manage myself, but they're long-term tenants. So there's nothing that I have to do. So like, I'll give you an example. On the drive here, a tenant texted me the dishwasher was broken. So I just said, find someone on Yelp, go get it fixed. I'll reimburse you, and that's it.
Wow.
What's the
It's been
rent?
easy.
What's the rent increase limitation? Is it 3%?
Los
per year?
Angeles, it's 3 to 4% depending on the year, and depending on what inflation is. So I think this year in Los Angeles, I think it was 4% last year. This year might be 3.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's the reason why a lot of people are going to states like Arizona and Florida. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
because they don't have rent control. It's like super landlord friendly.
Yeah, it
So-
really, I do believe, and I do believe rent control does a disservice to the entire real estate market. Because as a landlord, if I don't raise the rent to the maximum, like I said, I miss out on that. And then what you have is you have landlords who just have not been actively managing their properties. They've owned it for like 30, 40 years. They've got tenants in there who are still paying like $900 a month. They've never raised the rent. And because of that, they have a difficult time ever selling their building for really what it's worth, because any new owner is going to inherit that old rent. So you could only raise it based on what you're currently getting now. So I'm at least upfront with the tenants. I got to raise the rent. If you stay a certain length of time, maybe I could give you like a free half a month of rent, so that way it works out to be the same thing. And every tenant that I've rented to is super understanding of that. And I tell them, like, I'm not for it, but like I got to do this.
Are you into the crypto hype? Are you in Doge? Do you have AMC? I don't know any of this stuff. All of my friends are doing it. I refuse to be part of it because someone told me to invest in Netflix, and I did, and then the next day it tanked, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done.
So I'm in, I mean, those are covering a whole bunch of things, because we're talking about like meme stocks, which now apparently that's like an offensive term. You can't call it a meme stock. It's now a momentum stock. I didn't realize this. I called it a meme stock, and people are going off of me in the comments that's like a derogatory term. Like, what? So anyway, momentum stocks. And we're talking about crypto. So for crypto, I originally got into crypto 2017, and I dabbled with it. Back then, I didn't understand it. I didn't see the point, but I'm like, you know what? Let me at least go and like, I'll buy a Bitcoin. I'll buy an Ethereum. Like, I'll get into this just to see what it was about. I got into it. I dabbled here and there. I really never took it seriously. I just played around with it with fun money, and that was it. I didn't have a great experience with it back then. Then beginning of this year, I started getting into it. The more research I started doing, that big institutions were buying up crypto and were using that as their reserve. And the more I started looking into it, I'm like, you know what? I could place 1% of my entire portfolio in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Just a 60-40 split. 1%. Even if it goes to nothing, it's 1%. It's fine. So I did that, and I really enjoyed it. Now, this was back when Bitcoin had just hit 30,000, and Ethereum was like $1,000. So I did the 60-40 split back then. And then I figured, well, I'm going to bump that up to 3%. So I just kept dollar cost averaging, and every week I just buy a little bit more. And I still do that. And now my goal is, at the end of the year, I want 5% of my entire portfolio in a 60-40 mix between Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm not buying any more Ethereum above 2,000. I've stopped there. Bitcoin, I've just kept buying the dip. So, but now Bitcoin overall, I would say I'm pretty even on Bitcoin since the beginning of the year. Ethereum has tripled almost in value. Right now, I think 2.5 times the money on Ethereum.
How about you, Joe? You have any Doge?
No, I thought of it like 2 or 3 months ago before it really went up.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
you sent me money, and you're like, because I have a Binance account.
oh yeah, I get. Oh, you made me miss out on so much money, huh?
I made you miss out. What are you talking about?
I sent you $1,000 to invest for me, and you
no,
didn't.
I didn't because you said don't do it yet.
No, I said do it.
I'm gonna pull up my messages. You said don't do it, and then you said send me the $1,000 back. So I was like, all right,
Yeah, but now you owe me like 50,000.
right.
All right, that's our
God,
title.
yeah, no, I had a similar experience here on the podcast. I bought $1,000 worth of Dogecoin a year and some odd change ago, and it was like 0.03 cents or something each, like 3.6 cents. I forget what it was each. Put $1,000 into it, and then I thought it was stupid, and I sold it. Today, well, at the peak, that would have been worth like $160,000 at the peak. I mean, realistically, I would have sold if it hit 10K.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, oh my god, just 10x my money on Dogecoin. Fine, I can get rid of it. But yeah, but today I had $10,000 in Dogecoin.
Are you to the moon?
No, no. I bought it at like 40 something cents. It was a challenge. I said if a video gets 100,000 likes on a Dogecoin video, I will invest $10,000 in Dogecoin. It got the 100,000 likes. I invested 10K, and I said I would hold it for a year. That's it.
The Stephanites got you there.
Yeah.
Do you have a fandom name?
The Stephanites. No. I don't know. We don't have that. We
Graham Potatoes?
The smash the like buttoners. I don't know.
Okay.
Smash
Yeah,
the-
that's a good name. My uncle wanted to ask you, in a hot real estate market like this, do you continue to buy or wait for it to pull back a little?
Not buying. I'm not buying. I'm looking at the current market right now. Like everything I'm seeing is, I just don't get how this is sustainable. Like from the way I see it, inventory is like at a record low. It can't stay like that forever. The other thing I see is that material prices are going through the roof. Lumber's up 300%. Insulation is up. Copper piping is up. Fixtures are up. Like everything is up. Builders are so backlogged because they have so much demand, they can't get supply fast enough. And when they do get supply, they have to pay double the market value for it because someone else is willing to pay that. So you're paying right now such an inflated cost for real estate. I'm not buying anything else right now. And for my time, it's probably better spent at this point just making more YouTube videos and investing in the stock market. But the only thing with real estate is that there's a saying that the markets can remain irrational longer than you could remain solvent. And that basically means that
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah. The markets can remain irrational longer than you could stay solvent. Meaning, whatever you think is going to happen, the market's going to outlast you. Like, if you think the stock market's too high right now, and you're like, I'm not going to buy anymore, the market could keep going up double from here, longer than you could hold out with your money. Yeah.
Joe really did. I don't think he understood that, but that was totally not your fault.
Let's say the market's $1,000. Let's say the S&P right now, just even numbers. S&P is $1,000.
Dumb it down for Ilya, like if he was like
100.
a 3-year-old.
Okay. The S&P 500. Ilya, I know you're having a hard time following
Yeah.
along. Okay, for you.
Yeah, for me.
The S&P 500.
Yeah.
A stock. This stock is trading at $100, and it goes down to $50. Okay. Let's say all you have is $50, and you think, wow, this is underpriced. It's worth $70. Let's say you go and buy, you all in $50, you buy the stock at 50, so you have one stock. The stock could keep dropping even lower than that, and you're out of money, even though it's worth way more. So the whole point of that is whatever you think the market is going to do, it's going to outdo that longer than you have money to spend chasing it.
Do you understand, Ilya?
Yeah, are you good?
I was having him explain it for you.
For me, oh no, I'm good now. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm good now.
Yeah.
Great.
So my only thinking with this is that even though I personally think the market, this is not sustainable, doesn't mean it can't go up another 20% from here, and I could be completely wrong. And even if it let's say it is inflated right now, it could go up another 20. It could get even more inflated. So that's the way I see this.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But me personally, I'm not buying anything right now.
So you're with a real estate firm now, right?
Not. No, when I moved to Las Vegas, I had to give up my license in California.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What was your most expensive listing?
$8 million. Yeah, $7.9 million was the most expensive.
You ended up selling that?
Yes, we did.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Grant Cardone?
Yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about his theories, his practices?
I think he's good at sales. I personally, I'm not a very salesy person. So I think just right off the bat, we have a difference in thought on that. I don't like to be very pushy. He's really running a big multifamily syndicate. That's not exactly my cup of tea. I don't like to be involved with a whole bunch of other people like that as a passive investor. If that works with him, great. But yeah.
Guys, do you like this show and want to make your own? Let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. The creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Now, you can even add any song from Spotify directly into your episodes. The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Plus, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So guys, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Anchor is sponsoring another ad.
Guys, do you like this show and want to make your own? Let me tell you about Anchor. Anchor is free, and there's certain tools that allow you to record and edit right from your phone or computer. Best of all, with Anchor, you can add any songs from Spotify directly to your episodes.
And who doesn't like songs?
The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, a deep dive on your favorite genre or artist, or something the world's never heard before, like Ilya's name. Sorry. Anchor will even help publish your show to Spotify so you can reach hundreds of millions of listeners. Guys, if you have an idea for a show with music, get started by downloading the free Anchor app or going to anchor.fm. If you need inspiration, head over to blog.anchor.fm/music for some idea starters.
Lightweights is also sponsored by Harry's.
Harry specializes in men's quality grooming and shaving supplies.
Harry's has no gimmicks, just quality and fair prices. After almost 10 years, Harry's still provides high-quality blades for just $2 a refill.
$2?
How do they do it?
That's less than my gallon of a gas tank.
I guess. Weird comparison, but yeah. They may be a young brand, but they've embraced centuries of blade-making tradition. Don't you hate when blades get dull?
Yeah, my other blades get dull in like 4 or 5, and like it really pisses me off.
That's why we tried Harry's, and Harry's is so much better. It's 100% satisfaction guaranteed. So for a limited time, Harry's is now offering their starter set a $13 value for just $3 at harrys.com/lightweight. Again, that's harrys.com/lightweight.
Lightweight, that is not plural. Lightweight.
Just
So,
one of us.
Just one.
Not
Yes.
both of us. Thank you, Harry's, for sponsoring this podcast.
Like Harry Potter, right?
Yes.
What's your coolest investment you made?
I don't know if it's a cool investment or not, but in 2017, I invested in this crypto called Ryblox. It was like $1. Maybe, yeah. I think it had just turned out like $1 or something. I was buying and selling Bitcoin, sold my Bitcoin, put it into Ryblox at $1. And it went from $1 to like $38, something like that. And my thought was, I'm going to sell it when it hits 44 because it was about to be listed on Binance. And I'm like, it's 38. 44 was my, like, I calculated, like, it's going to go to 50, but I'm smart. I'm going to get out early at 44. Guess what? Like, the next day, the whole, like, BitConnect thing crashed.
Oh, my
Something
God.
happened with Ryblox. Like, there's, like, I forget what happened. Like, of course, and it tanks. They have some issues with it, and I'm still holding to this day. But it went back down to, like, $1 or $2.
What would you have made?
I was up maybe like 60, 70 grand.
Dang.
Back then, it was a pretty substantial amount for what I had invested in it.
Yeah.
So,
What was your biggest X amount? Like you put in $1,000 and it turned into 100,000.
GameStop.
You did GameStop?
Yeah. I didn't put it. So I invested in GameStop back in December
Before
anything. Yeah.
how'd you know?
I threw in some money in some meme stocks momentum stocks
Momentum.
back then, just for fun. And I think I put like $4,000 or $5,000 into GameStop at $13, $14 a share. And when it hit the 300s, I think it was like 350, 360. I think I was up like 1,300% on that.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and I was like, okay. I remember being with Jack, and I was like, I feel like I'm stupid if I don't sell this. Like, this is irresponsible. And so we thought, well, let me just sell half. So I sold half of it. But as soon as you sell half, then it's like, well, I'm not all in it. The next day I sold the other half. Or, the next day I sold half of the half. And then the day after that I sold the remaining half. So I think my average exit was somewhere in the 300s.
Wow.
On that.
$300,000 on a meme stock.
Oh no, that wasn't 300. That was a stock was 300 something dollars. I made over 100,000 on that.
Oh my God.
And that was from $4,000 investment, something like that.
I think it's back at like $44 or something like that, or 48.
Yeah,
Something like
it
crazy.
went down to
Oh, it
that,
did?
and then it went back to 300.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about AMC.
Yeah.
I'm mixing the two up.
Yeah.
What is it at now?
GameStop is around 300. It went down maybe 260, 270, something like that. Yeah.
Your first investment property that you did in San Bernardino, you rented out to a drug dealer.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was it.
And you saw pictures of him on Facebook, and he had like guns and weed.
Yeah. So this was a tenant that like I sunk every dollar I had, like everything into these rental properties, and I was $2,000 short to finish a place. And I went to my grandma and I asked her if I could borrow $2,000 into. So I had a commission that was closing that was going to be like $4,000. And I asked her, I said, like, can I borrow the two? I have this check coming in like 2-3 weeks. I'll pay you back within 30 days. And thankfully, she was able to lend me that $2,000 to pay a contractor to finish the job. Finished the job like shortly after my commission check closed. Paid her back, but like everything that I was making was going right back into these rental properties, and I wanted to get it rented as soon as possible. I picked the first tenant that called me. I put it up on Craigslist like that same night. Someone was interested in renting it, offered me the full price, and
Cash?
cash. Like he paid me in cash.
Did you think that you hit the lottery with this
I
guy?
did. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I honestly thought like I got so lucky, and he was a really nice guy in person. Came all buttoned up like he came from a nice like job interview, almost like khakis and like a button down shirt.
Him and his girlfriend, right?
Yeah, he was presentable.
Wow.
It just like not so he. I don't want to say kind of looked like a drug dealer, but
In hindsight?
in hindsight, yeah, yeah, a little bit. But I just thought, well,
Now
you
that
know
I
what? It's
remember,
fine. Like he like his
Now that I remember, he had weed falling out of his pockets.
He had a piercing through his nose, like the one that like goes.
gosh. But anyway, so I rented to him. Nice guy. And yeah, first month or two, no issues. But then, yeah, just started paying late. Hey, like, and oh, you know what? The biggest red flag, too, looking back, when they give you a story about everything, like when they start telling you their life story of how they're the victim and everything, like he was in a car accident and he was suing them, but the insurance company didn't pay him out. Now he's going after the insurance company, and it's like all these things that are happening to him, and like he's always the victim in every single story. So he was telling me that first, my check is a little bit late. Can I pay you the next week? Fine. Pay you the next week? Fine. It just kept getting later and later and later, and then it got to the point where he was like almost a month behind, and. Yeah, and I was honestly, I was so fine with it. I just wanted to get the rent, like and I didn't want any problem. Like I was afraid of anything happening. As long as he paid me, like I didn't care. As long as I just got my money at some point back then, I was fine. So, but it was the issue when I wanted to refinance and buy another property that he did not want me to go in that house. And he said he was growing roses in the garage. And I'm like, you're not growing roses. Just tell me what it is. He's like, oh, people don't understand. Like, just tell me it's weed. And like, I don't have a problem with it, but I have a problem with it if I'm trying to get an appraisal and he doesn't want me to go in the garage. So of course we get him to say yes to it, but you walk in the garage and there's like this huge box in the middle of the garage with pipes coming out and like wires
God.
going everywhere.
Breaking Bad.
And so obviously the appraiser saw this, noted that on the appraisal report, and the lender was like immediately no. We're not going to lend on this unless we come back and it's not there anymore. And so I was saying, like, can you just move this out? And whatever happens, like, I don't care what you do after. Can you move it out? So he was not able to move it out, but it turned out he was also illegally tapping electricity to not show up on the grid. Like he had wires. Seriously, because it's a red flag. I didn't realize this, but
Sounds like a nightmare.
one of the ways they cracked down.
You're
on,
21 at this point, too,
yeah,
right?
I was 21. Yeah, so one of the
Can
ways.
you imagine?
One of the ways they
That's the best. That's how you learn, though. Like,
it is. Yeah, best. It was the best learning experience ever. Like in hindsight, it was worth it. But yeah, one of the ways they track like home growing operations, crack down on them, is when they see a huge surge of electricity. So if like electric bill is like $80 a month, and all of a sudden it's like $1,200, that's a tip off that like chances are something's going on here. Well, his way around that was, let's run a wire up to the telephone pole and tap into it directly, just avoiding the circ. I don't know how he did it, but when he moved out, I had a team go through, and they mentioned that was one of the things that he had done.
It's a lot of electricity for some fucking roses.
Yeah.
So odds are he climbed up there and somehow
Yeah.
got the wow.
Yeah.
How was the eviction process? Like, how did you end up getting him out?
Yeah, so I filed an eviction, and then that's when he went crazy. He threatened to pull a shotgun on the guy.
Oh my
It was,
God.
yeah, I think either he was like taking out he wanted to take out his gun, or no, someone.
On the evictor?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The first tip off I got was I had this guy Bob come by, fix a dishwasher, and he warned me before I found out he was growing anything. He warned me that there were like 3 or 4 like Rottweilers on the property, or no, pit bulls. It was pit bulls, and there was a no pets policy on my lease, and he was like, he had pit bulls on the property. He had guns just sitting out on the table, like just flat out in open sight, just like handguns. So he tipped it off that like, hey, it smells like weed in there. Some guns there. There's dogs there. I'm just giving you a heads up. This is not a tenant you want in your property. And so he tipped me off to that. But I filed the eviction when he was so far behind, and I had to print out all of the messages between me and him, because as soon as I gave him the eviction notice, he would be. It was almost like one day he would be like, "Hey man, really sorry about everything. Like, I'll get caught up. Don't worry about it." Then then the next day it would be like, "You mother effer, I'm gonna f you up." Like, so it was.
He was threatening
Oh
you?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Were you scared?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I knew he didn't know where I lived, so I wasn't worried about him like finding out or like showing up.
Did he know you as the landlord?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, he knew I was a landlord from like day one, like everything.
This is the guy.
This is the guy. It would be fun, by the way. This would be so dangerous to have him on the podcast.
Oh, you should.
Oh my god.
Ilya will be here for muscle.
Yeah, I can protect you guys.
We would have to have like we'd have to have like a police officer or something there. Oh man. Okay.
And then we'll
so
do a
anyway.
react to it.
Like-
Yeah. So anyway, the only reason I was able to evict him was because he didn't contest the notice in time. He missed it by like a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So believe it or not, so I filed the eviction, and so the way it works is like it's filed, and then he has a certain number of days to contest that and like give his side of the story. He claimed that the unit was uninhabitable with mold, and that I wasn't remediating the mold, and that's why he wasn't paying until I brought up the unit to a habitable condition. Now, if he had said that, then it delays it even longer. And there are lawyers out there, by the way. Their sole purpose is to work with tenants to delay eviction as long as they can. A lot of these lawyers, by the way, are free. So for tenants, they could just call up these free lawyers. Hey, my landlord, I don't like him. I'm behind on my rent. They know ins and outs and ways to delay things or things to say that could get you up to a year of free rent.
How do they get that money then? They sue you?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. But some of these are just like public services and things that just are available to people who don't have the money to hire an attorney. I think it's important. Everyone has representation, even if you can't afford it. Everyone should be treated fairly. But there are things that, yeah, they could. So anyway, he, I think, was doing this on his own, and he missed the deadline by like a day. And then in court, he said that he had paid his rent, and the judge asked for proof of this, and he said, I left it at home. And I think the judge immediately just like saw through it. Like, here I am, and you know,
So
Again.
you were face to face with him in court?
yes, in court. It was so awkward because I was walking in the courtroom and he was there. And you know what I forget what he said, but he said something like, we should settle this in the parking lot man to man.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
why we got to do this man to man like that. And he's a big guy, by the way. I'm not the biggest guy. Imagine someone like 3 times my size. Like, I'm not going to do that. It's stupid. But anyway, so I told the security there, I told him what he had said. And so they kept an eye on him.
Oh, wow.
And he was yelling when the judge ordered basically him to be evicted. He was yelling. He was arguing with the judge. They had to escort him out. And then I went up to the security guard and said, he knows probably what car I drive. Like, he'd at least just walk me to the car.
Yeah.
And they did.
That's
But it was
crazy.
just nuts. This guy was crazy.
This makes me want to kick my tenant's ass.
What happened?
Nothing yet.
Just be on
But
him.
just
yeah.
show up and just like let him know who's boss right away.
Yeah, I think that's where you went wrong. You kind of let him start off on the stronger
Yeah,
foot.
you can't have. Unfortunately, like, and I'm all one for like giving leeway when people need leeway, but you can't do it. Like, you really have to set such a strict boundary of if the rent isn't paid by this date, there is a late fee, and just keep with that. keep whatever's in the contract should be enforced 100% all the time.
Do real estate agents lie? I know they're not allowed to, but do they ever lie to try and get a little bit of a bidding war and try and get the prices to go up? Like,
No.
they can't.
No, I don't want to say it's never happened, but it's extremely rare. I know a lot of people are very suspicious about real estate agents, like, oh, they're trying to get big up their commission. When you think about it, though, it's like the risk reward of that is so small for the agent, because the agent's really only getting 2.5% commission. Then they're giving 20 to, so it's maybe 10 to 30% of that, then back to the brokerage. Then of that, they only get to keep half after taxes. So you really think, like, is an agent going to risk their entire reputation and their license to make an extra 0.5% on a deal? Like, it make an extra few $100s? No, it's not at all. So agents, if an agent lies, I would say that's not a lie, it's ignorance. It's a straight up, like, maybe they're speaking on something they're not educated about, but very rarely have I ever seen that I know of an agent saying, like, hey, we have multiple offers on this property, when in fact they don't.
Right.
Most, because sometimes that could be discouraging to buyers. I've seen it. Oh, there's multiple offers. The buyer's like, I'm not interested. They walk away.
On my property in Arizona, I beat out like 9 offers. And then there was like a bidding war as we were signing the contract. It went up even more. It was crazy.
Yep, that happens. I would say what does happen the most is agents that have a solid reputation in the business, and those agents will get their offer accepted at lower prices, because we know that if they bring a client, the client's going to close. They're professional. They know how to treat that client, and the client's not going to back out. So if we have two offers, one pays $10,000 less, but they're working with an agent that we've worked with for 10 years, who has 30 years experience in the business, or an agent who's representing a client who's paying $15,000 more, but they're a brand new agent. We have no history on them in the past. They don't have a lot of experience. We'd rather pick the lower offer, because we're more confident that client is going to perform. And if anything comes up, that agent knows how to handle it.
Well,
I see you have a cool car portfolio. Jesus Christ, let me re-ask that. You have a cool car portfolio. You have a Ford GT?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Thank you.
That's really, really cool.
Thank you. I love that.
Yeah, I think Phil or Joe showed me right before we got here. What year is it?
2005.
2005.
Yeah.
Wow.
2005. So I
a
got
beautiful car.
I got 4 cars now, which is nuts.
What do you have?
So I got a Tesla Model 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got the 2005 Ford GT. Then just recently I got a 2010 or 11 Lotus Evora, but it's got like a GTE kit on it. And then I got a $1,000 Volvo.
Oh, what's the Volvo? Is it like
The 2006 Volvo S60, 130,000 miles on it. It's the car that I like to just drive around in. Just, you never have to worry about it. You could park it anywhere. You could take it anywhere. It's bulletproof. And if we have like a guest in town, they could just take that car.
For the listeners who don't know how much a Ford GT is, I think it's $350,000 or $400,000.
Yeah, it depends on the it depends on the car.
Very expensive car.
Mine was an
You were
auction.
Joe, you just fucking woke up from the dead. Bro.
I zoned out when you started talking about cars. And once you said how much it's worth, I'm back.
Yeah, so I got mine at auction, and it was $306. But the prices of cars, again, I think it's a bubble, but the prices of those cars now have gone up even more, like 10% since then.
Wow.
I don't know. There's just a lot of demand for this car. So yeah, so now that they're selling, like, the least expensive online is like $320 to $400,000.
For a person trying to get into real estate or into investing in general, let's say someone has, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. What's your one tip? What's your one piece of advice?
Yeah,
It's a great question.
that's a good question. Start a Roth IRA. I'd say for 90% of people watching, that's the easiest thing they could do. They could just start up a Roth IRA with any brokerage. Fidelity has really good free index funds. Start up a Roth IRA with Fidelity and just invest it all in. I would either do S&P 500 or like a total stock market index fund. Don't look at the price. Just throw it all in there. You can max it out every year. $6,000 a year for a Roth IRA. Just do that every year. January 1st, January 2nd, whenever the market's open, just $6,000 a year. That's it.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Again, we had Graham here.
We're also going to be on Graham's podcast. When's yours going to go out?
We could probably have it ready as soon as a week, maybe 3 weeks, 1 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll be up on Thursday.
Okay.
Where can they find you?
Yeah, YouTube is the easiest. YouTube, Graham Stephan. Instagram, GP Stephan, like GPS, GP Stephan.
Oh, wow.
You have a pretty poppin' YouTube page.
The Graham Stephan?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. I looked at it today. You got a lot of cool videos.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks,
man.
guys. Thanks, Graham. Yeah, make sure to hit the like button wherever this is, if there's a like button.
Yeah, and rate us 5-star.
Yeah,
Yes. Thanks.
give us 5-star rating.